When you're travelling in a camper van, you sometimes see some spectacular sights. For those of you who don't know us yet, we are Carol and Ken, and we like touring in our little red camper, tiny Nissan MV200 built by Sussex Camper Vans. We offer tips and tricks for how to survive in such a tiny van, and also try and demonstrate just how easy it is to wild camp. Welcome back to the channel. In the last episode, we were driving through the mist over the mountain road on our way to Sulby Reservoir. We had a peaceful night, but the following morning we had a very close shave with a white van as we were leaving the site. We left you having sampled the fish and chips at the Port Jack Chippy. So, what's the plan?
We're going to drive round to the TT scoreboard.
Oh yeah, and do the TT course.
And then see.
But look at the visibility. But every time we say we're going to do the TT course, the mist comes down. And it's now lower than we've seen it, isn't it? Because it's obscuring part of Douglas as well.
We've got to do it sometime, else we'll never do it.
We've got to do it, but there's not a lot of point doing it if you can't see it. So,
well, we'll go and see. This
is the pit lane, just off the A2 in Douglas. And this is the start point for the race. I think these things on the right are used in fast refuelling. It's miserable out there, weather-wise. It's that rain that really wets you really quickly.
Fine, drizzly rain. So we need to hole up somewhere then, really, don't we? Yeah, or go to a museum. I think maybe, should we go over to Erin and go to that museum that was at Erin that we saw, you know, with those Viking figures outside? Oh, right, yeah. So today at the moment is a complete and utter washout. So we're on our way to Peel, where we might do a bit of washing. Won't we, Charlie? That's the plan. We also said we might go to the museum, so we'll see when we get back.
St Moses at 4:30. We wouldn't have very long now. Well, we made it to Peel okay, and we also managed to find a parking space right by the museum. Now, normally I'd give you a shot of where we parked and also the entrance to the museum, but it was pouring down with rain so hard I didn't bother to take any of that. This is a replica of a roundhouse, which the earliest inhabitants of the island would have probably used.
But I know someone who wasn't listening to that story.
Who?
And Winder crept away from the fire to see if anyone was outside.
This museum is not typical. Instead of lots of artefacts that have been recovered, they show the history in a series of dioramas and reconstructions. There are some artefacts though, like this ancient sword and jewellery. Now, you may remember in a previous episode that we saw the outside of the museum when we were looking for somewhere to eat, and in particular these Vikings, and they appeared to be pulling something. What I failed to do at that time though was look through the window to see what they were pulling. Inside the main hall is this wonderful replica of a Viking longship. This ship is no untested replica though, because in May 1979 a mixed Manx and Norwegian crew sailed this vessel all the way from Trondheim to the Isle of Man.
Viking merchants founded trading ports at Limerick, Waterford,
These people are a long way from where I'm standing, but it seems that they're fishing using nets close in to the shore. Further out, the fishing boat is coming back into the harbour. We've come back to our usual spot on the seafront here to rest up for a while. We're outside the Lotus Chinese takeaway in Peel, and I've gone for a mixed meat curry and an egg fried rice, and Charlie's got a massive tub of noodles.
Vegetable chow mein I ordered, and they've like given me a double portion.
Huge. Was it expensive or not?
Or $16.50.
$16.50 for all of it, yeah. We're watching another of our favourite channels.
We're Liam and Janine, a couple travel in the UK in our converted Ford Transit camper van called Frida. We are on a mission to experience the best of the UK's locations and plant-based food on this epic tour.
So we've had our Chinese takeaway. How did you find it?
Mine was okay, but I didn't rate your noodles very much. They're a bit overdone, I thought.
Well, I wasn't feeling like eating much after our big lunch anyway, so I just fancied a few noodles. Still got the marquees up from the show.
Yeah. We thought it was a bit same old staying on the seafront in Peel, so we set off in the setting sun to find somewhere else for the night. When we reached Narble Bay, we considered if we should spend the night here again, but having already done that, we decided to push on further.
Low cloud in the hills.
The low cloud and the setting sun was lining things up for a spectacular finish for the day, but as we were reaching the top of the hill, we were plunged back into the low cloud and things started to look gloomy again.
We're scraping the clouds again, Charlie.
Yeah. Oh, we had a little bit of sun.
Not far further on, we reached a track on the right-hand side of the road, which looked like a promising place to spend the night.
It's very pretty.
Ahead lay an interesting track, and I pondered in my own mind whether I was brave enough to go down it. I suppose I was hoping that this track would lead to a clearing where we could spend the night. Sure enough, there appeared to be a car park at the end.
Eerie Cushling, bins, and we're back in the sun.
There are waste bins here, so obviously at the end of this track must be a cottage. All of a sudden though, the mosquitoes began to move in. Sure enough, there's the cottage that this track serves.
So it's a pretty little spot here, but we're going to move because there's too many midges out there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Which means we'd have to keep the windows shut. And we like to sleep with the windows open, don't we, really?
Well, it's quite warm. Yeah.
So we set off, retracing our steps down the narrow track.
I prefer to let it just tick over in second gear and bump along itself. And it seems to maintain a reasonable speed. And if it gets too rough, then just drop down into first. Let it tick over in first. But that gives you much more of a crawl. Incompatible USB.
We made it back to the main road without any problems, and then we turned right towards Erin.
Clear.
Clear.
Clear. Clear.
These cyclists don't realise the spectacle that awaits them on the other side of this hill.
Clear.
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 Very unusual lighting effects, aren't we, with this cloud?
Got two types of cloud. Look at it over the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
I don't know if that comes out on film. So we're up above the clouds now.
Yeah. Pretty soon it'll be gone, that sun.
As we drove along looking at the sun on these clouds, I kept thinking how glad I was that we had decided to set off during the evening in search of somewhere different to stay. We've since learned from the comments that the locals call this area the Sloc, and the Sloc is truly a magical place to be. After that little light show, we needed to focus on where we were going to spend the night. Pretty soon, we found ourselves driving up yet another narrow track.
Been down here before, have we, Charlie?
No, this is new territory. to Fleshwick Bay.
Fleshwick Bay is on Park for Night, and whilst we don't like to use those sites, we thought we'd give this one a go. It was getting quite late.
Big hole.
Much opportunity to avoid them, isn't there?
No.
Narrow lane. Be aware if you're coming down here that passing spaces are very few and far between. When you have a clear view like this, I like to put my foot down and secure the next passing space. Imagine you get too many people down here overnight.
Not.
Side to side. We're nearly there, and we haven't met anyone yet, touch wood. The last section of the track is particularly steep. Oh, this is steep. It's about here that you begin to wonder whether you'll be able to drive back up again. Got some ducks here for you.
There's a car.
One car, yeah.
Would you believe it? Wow, that's a spot.
It is, isn't it?
Go along here on the grass.
Go reverse along there.
Yeah.
There's hardly room to swing a cat, but it does look promising for a lovely place to park up for the night. enjoyed our video, then please give us a like and hit that subscribe button for more adventures from the Little Red Camper.